incoming rookies who are playing both in the college football playoffs or other bowl games. And it's been really cool to see, guys. Usually we get big name first round talents who opt out of these games. We have the Colorado boys. We got Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders. They're playing for Dillon here. And then also Cam Ward down Miami's playing. So really kind of cool to see that. We are seeing still a lot of opt-outs, transfer portal madness. But I want to touch on some of the 2025 rookies that we're excited to watch. And Jake, I want to go right to you first. Who is your top rookie you're looking forward to watch, whether that's in the CFP or in some bowl games down the stretch?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Ohio State wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. I think I pronounced that right. Probably didn't. Apologize for that. But in their matchup in the Rose Bowl, to me, I'm basically trying to see if he can supplant my wide receiver one. My current wide receiver one in the incoming class is Tedaroya McMillan out of Arizona. But I think Egbuka is probably the most well-rounded wide receiver in the class. And I think a lot of NFL teams are going to be really, really high on him. And if he can produce at an elite level in this college football playoff, I think it's really going to elevate what we see out of him. We've seen similar things with these wide receivers. Like I don't think a lot of people were considering Justin Jefferson a first round talent before that playoff run that he had, even though he was my wide receiver one the whole year.
Let's go.
But I just think it's a good matchup for him. Oregon's got a pretty solid defense. Their defense has been pretty consistent all year. It's a tough matchup to say the least. But I really want to see if he can take that step forward and maybe supplant Tet as my wide receiver one.
Yeah, we talked about Emeka a few weeks ago when I did reveal my rookie rankings. I had him, I think right around 10 is where I had him. And it's interesting because he's kind of this jack of all, master of none, right? He can play flanker. He's really great out of the slot. I think that's where he is the best, but he's taken passes to the house on screens this season. He can connect on deep shots like we saw this past week as well. So I think Emeka will be someone that we need to be watching. And like, probably whoever wins this game between Oregon and Ohio State is going to be the favorite going ahead and to win this national title. So it could be a great run for Ohio State. I'll be excited to see if Will Howard can continue to deliver. He looked great against Clemson, but we need to see the same thing against Oregon's defense, which a little leaky against Penn State a couple weeks ago, but we'll kind of see down the stretch. And yeah, I think Emeka is a great rookie that we should be watching against Oregon in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena here on New Year's Day. So excited for that. Steve, I'm coming over to you, man. You're also highlighting a rookie that we're going to be seeing in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to the opposite sideline for this one. I want to see Dillon Gabriel play. I don't like Oregon quarterbacks. There's two schools that I really worry about their quarterback production usually, and it's Alabama and it's Oregon. And sometimes you can throw Oklahoma into that as well. And now it's quickly becoming USC. But Oregon has always been a spot where quarterbacks put up big numbers and then don't really pan out.
Sure.
Bo Nix is doing well this season, but I worry that he is going to suffer from the same thing that a lot of like Bama quarterbacks and other Oregon quarterbacks are, that they're ready, but they come in at their ceiling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's what I worry about with Dillon Gabriel. So I want to see, he's playing Ohio State. They are a good defense. I want to see him play against a defense that isn't this still. Oregon joined the Big Ten, but they still played that like spread it out style against everybody else. And everyone was playing that with them. Ohio State's not going to do that. They're going to try to bully you, right? Ohio State is the pride of the Big Ten right now. And they are going to look at this team and be like, we are not going to let you come into our conference.
They already did. They already did it too. Yeah. But so, it was in Eugene. And that I think is the interesting thing about give us a neutral site in Pasadena, right?
Right. And this is a fight, right? Like now it's a fight. I think with the college football playoff, we saw a couple teams take L's that I don't think they would have taken during the year because there's not that urgency you need to be perfect, right? 12 teams make it, you can get there. It's time to see what Ohio State's made of, and it's time to see what Dillon Gabriel's made of, because this is going to be a dogfight, I think. I think he's going to see some big boys come at him with a lot of bad intentions, and I'm really excited to see how he responds to that.
And we've talked a lot about already in this episode that, yeah, this 2025 quarterback class, it's not the best by any means. We have two guys at the top that we know most organizations like in Shador Sanders and Cam Ward. And then it's a mixed bag, right? You got the Gabriels, you got the Rourkes. We don't know what's going to happen to the likes of Jackson Dart, Klubnik. Like there are a lot of these guys kind of, and Dillon Gabriel, like dead smack in the middle of that. kind of bound. I mean, this guy's my age almost, right? Like this guy's been in college football.
He's been doing it for a minute.
Yeah, he turns 24 in 5 days.
And the problem I have with him is he's gone to both schools that I've mentioned that I'm like, that's a quarterback like dead zone, right? Oklahoma and Oregon. And that's worrisome.
Oklahoma also gave us though Baker and Jalen though. You know what I mean?
And Kyler.
Yeah.
Right. But like they've done okay. Right. But I think Baker's done the best out of like in terms of just passing production.
Yeah.
Jalen is not the engine that makes that offense go.
Sure. Regardless, I'm excited to see what Dillon Gabriel can do here. I think he's coming in at a good point. And right now, Ohio State 2.5-point favorites out there. So backs against the wall a little bit. No one giving respect to this Oregon Ducks team. Jake, hit us with another rookie that you like and any additional thoughts you have on DG here.
Yeah, I hate Dillon Gabriel. He's 24 and my height. I don't think he's good. I think, like Steve said, I think he's a little bit of the product of college offenses. It's not a great story. You got to start for like 5 years in college.
He's from Hawaii. Come on, it's a great story.
I mean, that's
cool. That a great story.
I love it. Come on.
But
like, wait a minute. What does that matter? It's like he came from a third world country. He came from Hawaii.
Hawaii's a sick place, though. I like feel good stories from Hawaii, though.
Why is that a feel good story? That you're not answering the question.
Hawaii's a dope place. They went through a lot this past year. I just like Hawaii.
Well, he didn't. He wasn't there.
Well,
his family did.
Yeah.
But anyways, the other guy I'm really excited to get an eye on is Mitchell Evans, tight end out of Notre Dame. He's one of my favorite tight end prospects in a really good tight end class. He's not going to have some of the name recognition of a lot of these other guys simply because Notre Dame doesn't need to throw the ball a ton. They haven't thrown the ball a ton.
Yeah, you're telling me, man.
Evans has definitely taken a step forward towards the end of the year. We've gotten a little more production out of him, but I think he grades out as an NFL player a lot better than he does as a fantasy producer. But even from that aspect, like he gets a Georgia team that's, without Carson Beck. So is their offense going to produce? Is he going to have to, make the plays that he's had to make at times to keep this team in games? I don't know, but I'm excited to see it because I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm just happy we're here. We're vibing.
Yeah.
We get to play in a bowl game in the Sugar Bowl here. But yeah, I'm excited to see it because I think he grades out as a really good player. Just want to see if that fantasy production can come at the next level.
Yeah, it's interesting because, this is another one of those classes. You have two high-end great prospects in Tyler Warren. You also have Colston Loveland coming out of Michigan. So a lot of jockeying kind of going on right there. You got the guy from Bowling Green coming over as well. So a pretty deep tight end class, pretty stacked at the top as well. So we'll see if Mitchell Evans can kind of put his name in the mix there. And yeah, when you got Riley Leonard running this offense, kind of like a pseudo academy team, it's tough to really make a name for yourself. But Notre Dame, they're kind of with Iowa and Penn State at this point, like trying to make their claim for the tight end. I think it's Penn State, but I guess that's yet to be seen. I'll round us out here with my in the scope target for some college football bowl games coming up, specifically in the CFB. I'm looking at Cam Skattebo here coming from Arizona State against Texas in the Peach Bowl. Cam is one of perhaps the most interesting prospects in this class for me at the running back position because he transferred to ASU from Sacramento State, #NorCal. Shout out to them for our guy, Bo McBrayer. After 2 seasons at Sacramento State, he lost a bunch of weight coming into the season, was in the best shape of his life. Actually, turned out to be true. I know we hear that all the time from these running backs, both at the collegiate and pro level, but it broke out to the tune of over 1,500 rushing yards, 19 touchdowns, but also he added 37 receptions, 500 plus yards, and 3 touchdowns through the air, which that makes him appealing for fantasy, right? That this guy had over 500 yards receiving, had 37 receptions. He could be this dual threat type player that we want from a dynasty and redraft perspective. 5th in the Heisman voting, led Arizona State to a college football playoff berth, and also to a Big 12 title in their first year in the damn conference. They were picked to finish dead last, boys. Cam Skattebo has been the engine for this team, but still, this is we already talked about, one of the most legit running back classes I've ever seen. Nearly 24 RBs who I think could be the running back one of the 2024 class if we were looking back at it. I want to see what Skattebo can do here against the Texas Longhorns. 3rd in total defense, 10th against the run as well. The only other SEC defense he has faced so far this season was Mississippi State. He had over 297 total yards in that game, but the Bulldogs finished dead last in the SEC, 2-10 overall, 0-8 in conference play. So can Cam Skattebo, can he put Arizona State on his back? I'm excited to see it. Steve, Jake, any thoughts on Cam here? He's been an interesting prospect, but definitely one, like, not a high profile guy coming into college at all.
I don't. Again, it's like, yeah, he did great this year, but the Big 12 was like, I mean, it was like a JV conference. It wasn't exactly like he was playing
Right.
anybody.
So Steve is one of those guys that he could go out and prove wrong if he did it against Texas this week. Yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely could. I don't think he will, but I think he could. And I need to see it in more than just one run, right? Like, that's the other thing, is like, a guy will be held like 15 carries for like 16 yards, and then he'll break off an 80-yarder, and everyone's like, see how good he is? And I'm
he's
like,
got some big gainers.
I'm like, I need to see it in more than one run. I need to see him break tackles. It's not about the yardage total. It's about what he looks like when he has the ball in his hands.
Go watch,
if
the tape again.
And he takes off, it doesn't
Iowa
do anything
State.
for me.
That Iowa State tape is NFL general managers are going to be thinking about that all day, because
what NFL general managers are going to look at when it comes to this man right here is going to be this game, because this is who he's playing against, the big boys now. So it's time to nut up or shut up.
What do you think about Skattebo here?
I think he's really slow and not that good. And that's pretty much it.
Iowa State, man, he tore those, dude.
Get it, but again, we're talking about an old prospect at the position, a guy who had to, completely remake his body.
People said the same shit about Chase Brown, dude. People said the same shit about Chase Brown.
Yeah,
and season. Chase
Brown ran a 4.340 or 4.440. The projected 40 for Skattebo is like, we're gonna be ecstatic if he breaks 4.6. Like, dude is not. He's not an NFL. He could be a goal line back. He can play like a Carson Steele modified fullback role.
Yeah.
I just really struggle, especially with, like you said, the talent in this class. When you're going up against Genty, Hampton, Johnson, Sampson, Jordan James, Trayvon Henderson, Judkins, Devin Neal, Singleton. Like, there's so many good running backs in this class. He's going to be like a late day 3 pick. Or honestly, it's probably better off for him to be a UDFA. He'll probably get more money that way. But I struggled to see, even in a good matchup against a good team. One, I don't think he's going to do that good in this matchup. I think it's not set up in his favor. But I don't think this game is going to change many NFL teams' opinions of him.
Sure. No, it's a great opinion. And that's why I love this program. That's why I love the end of the season. So we can ask these type of questions and put these guys in the scope, under the microscope a little bit, and see other opinions, because I'm living in the moment. You know what I mean? I'm living in the moment. I'm living and dying with this stuff, but it's great to kind of zoom out a little bit. And from an NFL draft prospect, maybe not exactly fitting that model that we like every single year.